in 2022-23 election, the incumbent President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, when Atiku was pursuing his educational issues with Chicago State University, remember, there was a lot of back and forth. David Hunde and this Greenspan, the guy from US, were also sending FOI, Freedom of Information, requests, asking for his files from DEA, FBI, DOJ, Department of Justice, and all of that. What did Tinubu do? Tinubu wrote to them and was pleading, begging them not to release his file, that it will cause him irreparable damage. So the man quickly went and used the National Assembly that is in his pocket. He used them to amend the electoral law to remove forgery as a crime when it comes to contesting an election, because he knows the primary school he claimed to go has not been established when he claimed he went to the primary school. Nobody knows his classmates. This same person was asking the US government not to release his files that will cause him irreparable, which means those information are not good. That is the simple meaning. Then another aspirant is telling the whole world, anything you have on me, please bring it to the open now. I want everybody, bring it to the open. Come to court to present your own. Like Dejade Ajuda claimed he knows how P2B took state money and invested in their family business. This is the time for him to also join himself in the suit, so that Kenneth Okonkwo is presenting the one he has. Him, Dejade Ajuda, will also present the one he has. This is the opportunity is given to everybody. But another man is begging that his own should not be brought out. So when we are talking about leadership, you talk about integrity. That is what we are talking about. A man of integrity is a man that will always focus on doing what is right. Hello, my people. Welcome to my channel. This is Andy Media TV. We are here again to look at some salient issues that has been trending on social media. And you guys may recall that Mr. Peter Obi was on a podcast interview, where he interfaced with Rufai Oseni of the Arise News. He was holding a podcast with him, where he kind of gave him a platform to speak on some salient issues, bordering Nigerian political, space. And Mr. Peter Obi was, it's always available, when it comes to, talking to the people, whether through social media or through, the print or even television stations. It's always available, talking to the people, kind of sharing ideas of what he can do and all of that. So he was at that podcast, and they had this conversation over an hour interview, So and I think there's quite a whole lot of stuff that he spoke in that interview. I was kind of thinking deep into what he said in so many salient issues. But I think in this particular video, I think I'm going to narrow my conversation on two key areas. And one of the areas is his issue with Kenneth Okonkwo, who has been viciously attacking him on various medias, and also his position in terms of what he's going to do in the power sector, and also the area of insecurity. Some of the things he said. So I think I'm going to expand it to three areas, and then look at it, talk about it, and then see how the whole thing goes. So that's what we're going to do in this video. One other thing I just want to also bring up in this video is not just about people kind of criticize him in terms of what he said, especially when it comes to when he was saying that he cannot disclose how he will tackle insecurity and how he will, generate the power, So and many we are like, how can he say all these things without telling us how he's going to do it and all of that? So that's where I'm going to even focus most of my energy, in terms of the conversation in this video. So, it's easy to criticize, but it's not easy, to be the one on the drive seat. Remember, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is now on the seat. Remember when he was not on the seat in 2014, how he was tweeting, attacking President Jonathan, asking him to resign if he cannot fix insecurity, and that the bulk of insecurity lies on the desk of the president. Today is the president. Virtually every Nigerians are kidnapped on daily basis. School children, teachers, people are beheaded. Just name it. Communities are waylaid and ransacked, and not thousands of people killed within 3 years of his administration. He has not tackled the same insecurity. He was accusing Jonathan of being weak, and now he has not resigned, as he was telling Jonathan to resign at that time. So you see, his talk is cheap, but being on the saddle and being the one to do the job, that's where you know that it's not easy. So, but I think I saw Peter Obi's confidence, based on what he has achieved as a person in his life, and he knows what Nigerian problems are, which one of the basic problems of Nigeria is corruption. And he has the key to tackle corruption, because in Anambra State, he did it. And those people who are feasting on Anambra resources, all of them ran away. They left the state for him. Insecurity is something. He tackled insecurity that even advanced the kidnapper, like he said in one of the video in the podcast, that advanced the kidnapper also said it in his interview that Peter Obi oppress them, that all of them has to leave Anambra State. So he knows what to do. And because he's not corrupt, it's easier for him to do it. But when you are a chief executive or a president that is corrupt, then it's difficult. Because when everybody is feasting on the same pot, including yourself, you cannot remove their other people's hand for you to feast alone. They will bite your own hand, they will break your hand. So, but if you are not feasting in the pot, and everybody saw that you are not feasting on the pot, nobody will go to feast on the pot. It is what it is. So his confidence was top-notch, in that interview, and especially when he was talking about, how what he can do in this insecurity situation Nigeria finds itself, that is ready to die for the country, is ready to. That is, it's just one person that must be in charge, not two. So it's either he's in charge or those people are in charge. And as president of the country, he will be the one in charge, just like he was in charge in Anambra State. So I saw his confidence, and they keep saying that Nigerians should begin to learn that politically, anybody that is coming to contest for any position, you need to go and check the pedigree of the person, check his capacity, check his integrity, check his character, and his empathy level, because these are the things that are key in a leadership position. So he said to Rufai that he stamped his name on delivering 10,000 megawatts. So when a man is telling you that his name is imprinted in this thing, then just know that that is the highest oath the person can take. And a man of integrity will not allow his name to go to the mud. That is the truth. So he must do what it takes to deliver that result he has stamped his name upon. And he's a man that has traveled far and wide, visited different countries who have achieved what we want to achieve. He has understudied them, how they did it, how they arrived to where they are, the key processes they followed, and all these things are generic. It's just like mathematics. It doesn't matter which country you are. Follow the formula. You get the same answer everywhere in the world. That is why they hold all this competition, people from Africa, people from Europe, people from America, North and South America. Globally, they hold competition, mass competition, right? The same formula. Anybody from any country, follow that formula, you get the same answer. It is what it is. So if you follow what Egypt has done, you will get the result Egypt has gotten when it comes to their power. Same thing with Indonesia that he mentioned and all of that. So I don't know why people are so fixated about Peter Obi that anytime he says something, people will find a way, to kind of attack him, kind of do a lot of stuff just to, weaken what he was trying to achieve, from what he was saying. But some certain things are critical, in what he said, which we will examine in this, video. So guys, before we go into details in all of this, if you are new to my channel, please kindly like and share this video, and also subscribe to my channel and put on that notification bell. Just press on it so that as I posting these videos, you will be getting the alert immediately the videos are dropping. All right, a lot of things are happening, swiftly, and this one is happening, another one is happening. So a lot of stuff is going on. So you need to be abreast with what happened, in Nigerian political space and across the globe, as the case may be. So, and for those who have subscribed to this channel, those who are supporting this channel, liking, sharing, commenting, I say thank you to you guys who are doing that. And don't forget, once you comment on my video, I must reply you back. That's my principle. So there's nobody who has commented, on my video that I have not, kind of tried to respond, especially positive comments. And I like, the way and manner people put their comments respectfully and all of that. So it is what it is. So guys, let's delve into, the nitty-gritty of this, issue that I want to discuss today. First, let's take up Kenneth Okonkwo. Peter Obi was asked, why do you want to sue, Kenneth Okonkwo for $5 billion? And his response was something else. And he said that, I'm not suing him for suing sake. I'm just suing him because of what he said. Not because he came to TV and be maligning my name. I'm suing him because he said he still have more information, right, to dish out. And that's why I'm suing him. Anyway, let's hear this video. Let's hear from him in this video. And I'll come back to conclude what he just said. Okay?
One of your Lieutenant Aisha Yusuf is disgruntled. Serake Diskin has come out to say that nobody's doing anybody a favor. What's happening in your political party? In fact, there were allegations that came out recently that Kenneth Okonkwo made you take him to court for $5 billion as regards monies exchanging hands in your political party. People are saying the NDC is not different from the APC you are castigating, and you are saying you are the ones that will change the order of things for democracy.
Let me assure you that whatever you think is in fighting our party is nothing compared of what you see in other parties, and there's no issue. It's an issue when you have an organization. There's at times some disagreements or minor issues which we've been talked over, it's been resolved, and everything. And that's it. The issue of taking Kenneth Okonkwo to court wouldn't have been there if only Kenneth stopped at even allegation. But he said he has a lot that he will talk in the future.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that when I said, I'm taking it to court, he said, now that he's being taken to court, that he will now be able to disclose or bring in the open all those things he wanted to keep behind. I think Rufai, as a leader, this is time to scrutinize, avail ourselves for scrutiny by the public, so people can hear all the bad things about us, because it is important that our future leaders must be who they say they are, in terms of character, in terms of integrity, in terms of competence, in terms of qualification, in terms of everything. So once he said that, I said, wait a minute, we must go further. So they can help. Because some of the things we're seeing today that the young ones are doing are examples they've learned from our leaders. So this is time to ensure that those who are coming to lead us now must be people of character.
So you want Kenneth to go and expose you. That's why you're taking him to court.
Everything. No, don't,
Because he threatened that it's not a good thing.
Not just Kenneth.
Yeah.
Everybody should not say those things they know that is bad about me or I did that is wrong, because it's good for the system. It's good for the society. So if you know that when we were in primary school, this man was cheating or didn't go to the primary school, didn't go to secondary school, didn't do, if you know this man has done something criminal somewhere, this is time to bring it up. We must not allow the next set of our leaders to have a record that is doubtful.
All right, welcome back. So you heard what he said. So his mission is not because he came to TV and said he collected 10 million from people and all of that, which everybody even globally knows that Peter Obi cannot and will never do such a thing, because he values his name. So whatever Peter Obi does, he ensures that it's something that he can put his name upon. If it's not something he can put his name upon, he will leave that place. It doesn't matter what he has invested in that place, he will forfeit it and leave. That's a man of integrity, because you know what it takes to build a name. And your name you have spent years to build can be rubbished in 1 second if you make the wrong choices and wrong decisions. So that is the reason why whatever he's doing, he tries to avoid anything that will tarnish his image. And you can hear him beat up his chest and say, this is the opportunity he's trying to create, not just for Kenneth Okonkwo, but for every other person. That is reasoners for suing Kenneth Okonkwo is not because of what he came on TV to be saying, because he's used to that. people have said a lot of things. I remember Deja Deya, you said that he has evidence how people be invested state resources into their family business. He came on TV, he was saying all of that. And now Kenneth Okonkwo has come up, say his own. He has been attacking Peter Obi since he left ADC some months ago till now. They have been attacking him, and he rushed to TV. Somebody told you something of what happened in the primaries. You did not verify, you did not find out. This is the man you served for almost a year, working with him in the 2022-23 presidential race during the campaign period. You worked with him, spoke for him. You acted as a spokesperson for him, to the point that you don't know what he can do. That somebody else from the outside is telling you that he took 10 million from the aspirants who are trying to contest for a seat in the National Assembly, and you believed, and you ran to TV station and began to speak. And then the man gave you 7 days and said, hey guy, retract what you have said, or I'm going to take you to court. And in his reply, that lengthy documentation that was sent as a reply to what Mr. Peter Obi asked him to do. He was kind of still emphasizing that, all he knows, he got this information from this person, and the person asked him to help them recover their 10 million. I don't know when Kenneth Okonkwo begin to be a debt collector or whatever it may be. When Peter Obi made a request, retract what you have said within 7 days, or you meet me in court for 5 billion naira lawsuit. A wise man will go back and reflect and come back and say to Peter Obi, "Oh, I'm sorry, based on the information that got to me, I didn't have time to verify it and all of that. So I withdraw what I've said." Just like Oshiomhole did when he called the NNPCL a house of thieves and criminals. When the National Assembly, the Senate heard him and said, "Hey, you have to retire that statement, otherwise you're on your own." He went and retired the statement. That's no big deal. Being wrong and accepting you were wrong and then withdraw what you said. That's no big deal about that. It only shows integrity, humility, and accountability. So that's what it is. But he's still so proud. After bragging in his reply to Peter Obi, he still went to the end and began to kind of appease Peter Obi that, you went to the diaspora and said it's wrong to arrest anybody for saying anything on TV and on radio and all of that. Peter Obi did not arrest you. He did the right thing. Other bigger politicians like him, what they normally do is they pick you up first, detain you in police station before they even talk about going to court and all of that. But he did the right thing. When it comes to defamation, civil suit, you take the matter to court. Then you now come to court to defend yourself. That's exactly what he did. Other politicians will just arrest Kenneth Okonkwo straight. He will be missing after some days before people will even know where he is. So he did what the law says he should do. So, but you as a person, you don't have money to pay your rent because the information is there, out there. Catch on Onuju. What, put it out there that the bone of contention between you and Peter Obi is the inability to pay your rent. You approached him to help you pay for a duplex, rent in a duplex. And they advise you not to go into duplex, go into a flat first, start from there. You refused. You got angry because you felt he had money to give to you, but he refused to give you, advising you to step down to a flat. You ran to Atiku. Atiku also told you, forget duplex, go to a flat. And Atiku gave you money for a flat, which you now went and did whatever you did with it. So two different people, they were not at the same place when you met them. You met them on different occasions. They gave you the same answer. But the shame to return to Peter Obi to collect the money for this flat stopped you. And you decided to collect from Atiku. And now you switched to Atiku. The same Atiku now has dumped, you have dumped him now because his vice president is from South. You said you are an Igbo advocate. I don't know. You are attacking an Igbo presidential candidate. And you say you are an Igbo advocate. You are attacking him, supporting a Northerner. If you are an Igbo advocate, like you are claiming. So you can see, you are just, they call them political jobbers and all of that. That's just what it is, because you don't know even what you want. And you can't force people to do your way. If you want Igbo president, Igbo candidate, Igbo vice president, you are an Igbo person. You have the qualification. You're a lawyer, you are this, you are money. You are a lot of things educationally. They even need just WAEC. You have more than WAEC. So you can contest as a person so that you will achieve that dream you have for Igbo people. So I don't understand the reason why you are doing whatever you are doing. So that's the point. So now the Peter Obi has said, I'm suing him because he said he have so many information to disclose about me, right? He served with me as a spokesperson, and they have said that if I take him to court, he will disclose more information. So now I'm taking him to court to give him the opportunity to disclose those information. He now said it's not just about him. They spoke about Arabam, the guy from Labour Party. He said that one doesn't even have address, which means that one is kind of a non-entity. That's just the word to summarize the way he described the guy. He said the guy doesn't even have address. Nobody even know where to serve him a letter, which means he's a homeless man, by virtue of what Peter Obi was describing him as. He's an irrelevant person to discuss. That's just the summary of the whole thing. So he said we wanted to give everybody opportunity, not just Kenneth Okonkwo. Anywhere you are in the world, Peter Obi has done bad things here and there. Bring it. This is the time now. Come to the court and do it. So that's the reason he's suing him. Let him bring out the remaining things he still have to the court. Bring the evidence to the court and prove it in the court that he, Peter Obi, did all those things. Don't forget that Nigerians are too quick to forget, right? Remember, in 2022-23 election, the incumbent President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, when Atiku was pursuing his educational issues with Chicago State University, remember, there was a lot of back and forth. David Hunde and this Greenspan, the guy from US, were also sending FOI, Freedom of Information, requests, asking for his files from DEA, FBI, DOJ, Department of Justice, and all of that. What did Tinubu do? Tinubu wrote to them and was pleading, begging them not to release his file, that it will cause him irreparable damage. This is the same people, the same person Nigerians are following. APC people are putting out to be a president. The man quickly went and used the National Assembly that is in his pocket. He used them to amend the electoral law to remove forgery as a crime when it comes to contesting an election, because he knows the primary school he claimed to go has not been established when he claimed he went to the primary school. Nobody knows his classmates. No, even his name, people are saying wondering. So I saw a video, somebody was saying that no Yoruba person answers Bola, just Bola. There must be whether Ajibola, something like that. So what is the full name of that Bola? Nobody knows. So this same person was asking the US government not to release his files that will cause him irreparable, which means those information are not good. That is the simple meaning. Then another aspirant is telling the whole world, anything you have on me, please bring it to the open now. I want everybody, bring it to the open. Come to court to present your own. Like the Jade that claim he knows how Peter Obi took state money and invested in their family business. This is the time for him to also join himself in the suit, so that Kenneth Okonkwo is presenting the one he has. Him, the Jade will also present the one he has. This is the opportunity is given to everybody. So he said, if you know from primary school, from anywhere you know, in the UK, he did things that are wrong, please bring them out now. But another man is begging that his own should not be brought out. So when we are talking about leadership, you talk about integrity. That is what we are talking about. A man of integrity is a man that will always focus on doing what is right. That is the point. So as you can see now, what is happening in the country. If your president is asking other agencies of government in another country who has file on him in terms of how he forfeited, money to the U.S. government that is linked to heroin, distribution and all of that, and is begging them not to release his file, it means that file will destroy his career. That's what it is. So when you are looking for a leader, you must look for a leader that if you say this is white, you will believe him that it is white. And that is why in the next video I'm going to play, when it comes to the power supply, building, generating, moving Nigeria from 4,000 megawatts to 10,000 megawatts within 4 years. When I get to that point, you will understand better why Peter Obi is saying, I am putting my name on it. That you should go and check. In Anambra State, everything I said I will deliver, I delivered them. I came and said, I will move education to the top. I moved them from 26, 27 position to number 1 in Wayaka Neko. I did it. I said I will do it. I did it. The health sector, I did it. Everything I said I would do, security, I provided security for the state, that all the bandits and criminals flee from the state. I did it. I stamped my name on it and I did it. So don't ask me how I will generate the power. That go and check what I did in the past. And it still beholds to, even during the US election in 2023, 2024, the president said he will close the border. Nobody debated because they know. But in the first time he did it. So they leverage on their knowledge of what he has done in the past. That's why we got massive votes, and they came and shut the border as he promised. So these are the issues we are talking about. Looking for people of integrity to give them responsibility. They are the people that can shun bribery and corruption. And he said in the podcast, there are a lot of things in the podcast that he doesn't need government money to survive. That as he is now, no matter how many years God keeps him, he will be able to take care of himself, feed his family, do everything. So he doesn't need state funds. God has blessed him. And that is the kind of person you entrust resources to. You don't give resources to a criminal. The money will disappear. You see what it goes on in the country. Anybody who just gives small position, corruption, billions are missing already. So that's the kind of people we are talking about. So, but unfortunately, many Nigerians, I don't know, different fake news everywhere. Many people wrong with what they say on social media. Many people don't go and research. Many people don't go to Anambra State to ask people. And they said, if I didn't do well in my state, I can't be living in Onitsha. They would have thrown me a stone and all of that. But I live among them because basically every infrastructure there, I built them during my tenure. So it is what it is. You can see now the position of Kenneth Okonkwo. Anybody who knows him should advise him to apologize. And as you may already be aware, that it's not just Peter Obi who, kind of taking him to court for 5 billion. Former governor of Imo State, Atiku Demu, has also filed his own, another 5 billion lawsuit. That's a total of 10 billion in damages. The man who cannot afford his rent, is it him that will be paying 2 people 5 billion if they win the case in court? That is the question. Don't forget about litigation cost. He's a lawyer. He may decide to defend himself, maybe to cut down the cost of litigation and all of that. But if they defeat him in court, which obviously they will, because the information he has about what he said on TV, the man has debunked it. They have the text message. It can be printed. Charles even has it. So there's no place the man said in that message that Peter Obi scammed them. So it is him who is building that around the conversation he had with the man. According to what the man said on TV, he denied it, that he never told him Peter Obi scammed him. And even the blind person or deaf person will not hear that and believe. That's the truth. So that's aside. Let's look at the next point. The next point, issue of power. Many people were kind of attacking him and said, hey, you said we generate, up to 10,000 megawatt. How? And he said, I can't tell you how to find. There's no way I'll tell you how. He said that somebody told Nigerians, that he's going to generate, he's going to ensure that he will give them power by any means possible. Did he tell them how? That is the one that touched me most. And when I heard that comment, I laughed and said, he's right. Tinubu told Nigerians during his campaign in 2022 to 2023 election that he's going to give them power by every means necessary and that they will no more pay estimated billing. How far today? There's no power. According to Peter Obi, they did not even generate 1 megawatt. No new power plant was built since Buhari came into power, 2015 till now. Not one was built. So Tinubu's promises was fake. He did not do anything when it comes to power, right? And then, in terms of estimated billing, it's still going on today in the country. Everybody is not metered. Many people are still receiving estimated billing, which he said he will tackle. 3 years into his administration, no adequate power grid collapse. And what he did, he just separated himself from the national grid and built solar plant in Aso Villa where he lives, which cost Nigeria over 10 billion naira. He took care of himself and his family and left Nigerians in the dark. That's what he did. Is that the promise he gave them? No. Did he tell Nigerians how we will generate it? No. Anyway, let's hear from Peter Obi what he said concerning power.
While you were giving one of your speeches recently, you said you add 4,000 extra megawatts, you're targeting 10,000 megawatts. Can you give us a breakdown by breakdown of how you are even going to achieve that 10,000 megawatts of electricity?
Fine. What people do here is because Peter Obi does not have sophistication of media and everything, to make what I say look like, oh, nobody has said it. Somebody said, if I don't give you power, don't vote for me. Did he tell you how he's going to give you power? So why must my own be in the marketplace?
Yeah, but you are saying you are different. Can you tell us?
I'm different because where I promised that governor delivered it. And I have said, and I repeat, that in 4 years, we will generate, transmit, and distribute at least 10,000 megawatts of electricity.
How are you going to do it?
No, I'm not going to tell you how. It is not for you to know how. It is for you to look at the man who is saying this. Go and check political promises all over the world. It's for you to look at who is saying this. Rufai is saying it. Can we trust Rufai? Somebody just said, if I don't give you, don't vote for me. He didn't even add 1 megawatt. Instead, he went down. And he's telling you again.
But power production increased.
No.
We produce more than what we're producing in 2023.
Listen, forget about it. Rufai. Nigeria today, since 2015, no new power plant had been commissioned. Not one. By this government. That's when I mean government investing in it. No new one. And in the next coming years, it will not happen because it takes at least 3 years to do one. So that promise was fake. If you compare it to countries like Indonesia, between 2015 and 2025, Indonesia added 70,000 megawatts of electricity. India, within the same period, added 171,000 megawatts. These are things you can go and verify. Egypt, within 2015 and 2021, added 28,000. Rufai, I was in Egypt, visited the power plants. I was in Indonesia, visiting, even met the president. So, Rufai, I know what I'm talking.
So,
I will.
So, you're saying you will do it. How will you do it?
I know how I'm going to do it because it's not for me.
No, but Nigerians need to know.
They don't need to know.
We can't do blind trust.
They don't need to know. They need to believe in me. That what they want to do is that maybe they've hired you for me to, everything I said, they come rush me and go, no. Rufai, I will do it. I will even do more. I know what it means. Because I know that
so you're not going to tell us
the industries in Kano today are not working. I know what to do to provide that. Rufai, that's why I visited this plant. Which other candidate has taken time to go to these countries and see what they're doing?
So, Mr. Obi, it's not about visiting the plant. It's about telling us how you will do it, how you will get.
They're not rocket science. They're not rocket science. What those countries do is not rocket science. It's not as if I'm going to bring what is not there. What they did is very simple. And you find my commitment is that I'll deliver it.
Okay.
I have my name on it.
Okay, welcome back. You heard what he said. He has given you scope of what he wants to do. How? How do I know? He told us that he went to Egypt, understanding what they do, right? He went to Indonesia, understanding what they did in their power sector, how they move from point 1 to point 2 within a short period of time. And he gave them some clues that it takes 3 years to build a power plant, 3 years, and his tenure is 4 years. So within that 3 years, it will generate that additional 6,000 megawatts that will up us from 4K to 10K, right? And how is he going to do that? You already have the strategies, how Egypt did it, how Indonesia did it. Obviously, it's going to be similar. But whatever is the difference in effort between these two countries, you're going to now bridge that gap. And one thing that is required is the moment he gets into office and kill the corruption in the power sector, because that is the first problem the power sector has. Remember, Obasanjo spent $16 billion during his tenure, 8 years. What do we have? Darkness. They were commissioning bushes as power plant at that time. That's why I'm against all this, their attitude of the award project. In the next couple of months, they are already commissioning project that just started. They did it in the coastal highway, 700 and something, 750 kilometers. They did 30 kilometers. They went and commissioned. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't really make sense. So, if you check the cumulative amount that they spending in the power sector, is billions of dollars. So during the privatization, they sold power to people that doesn't have the capacity, don't have the resources, don't have the ability to develop the power sector. That's why government is continuing to give them subsidies and all of that. And still, we are still at the same spot. So this man said, first thing he will do is to clean the corruption in the power sector. That's the first thing. And when he clean that corruption, lock out these people that are, holding the power sector to ransom. When they lock them out of the power sector, he frees the power sector to breathe. That's when any resources that go to power sector enters the project. You think all the billions that are mentioned in going to power project goes there? No, they are trapped at some point. It doesn't trickle to the power itself. Obasanjo built some power plant, but there was no gas pipeline to power the turbines. How can you be building power stations? You are not building the gas turbine, the gas pipeline at the same time. That will link to the turbines. It doesn't make sense. The planning is poor. That's the point. So he has given some clues that he has a strategy which he has understudied from other countries, which he has put together. Which, if he succeed, then he's gonna unleash that energy in the power sector, because his mission is moving Nigeria from consumption to production. And you can't be talking about production without having adequate power. Look at the US now. There's 247 power supply, and they are expanding their AI infrastructure, which need huge amount of power, and they are embedding it in the those AI developers for them to generate their own power to support their AI infrastructure. So these are the things they are doing. People are thinking ahead, planning ahead, working ahead, But Nigeria, we are just stagnated. So somebody is saying, I'm volunteering myself to come and tackle this problem. And if you go and study what he did in Anambra, you will see how he tackled the corruption issue in Anambra, how he succeeded in education. The money are going to the ministry and they are trapped there. It doesn't go to the schools. What did he do? He moved school to the missionaries, send money straight to the missionaries, and the missionaries moved the money straight to school. Minister of Education were cut off from that platform. And that's how education moved in Anambra from 27 position to number 1 position within a couple of years. And they sustained it over time before he left. So the strategies are there. It takes a man that has the guts to do the right thing. And the man of integrity stands in doing what is right. He doesn't please people. He only follows the process. That's why he talked about his wife telling him, many people are not happy with you. He said his job is not to make people happy. His job is to serve the state and use the resources of the state for the interest of the state. That's what he responded to the wife at that time. So all those politicians who were not happy with him were on TV station, AIT and the rest of them, maligning him, talking bad about him and all of that. But he doesn't care. He's focused on doing the right thing. It is what it is. So those of them who were like shouting, why can't he tell us how? Let's listen to this, Tinubu's video when he said he would give them power. He didn't mention how.
By all means necessary, you must have electricity, and you will not pay for estimated bill anymore. A promise made will be a promise kept. If I can't keep the promise and I come back for second term, don't vote for me. That's the truth. Unless I give you adequate reasons why I couldn't deliver.
Right? Let's also listen to is another video where they asked him question. He said he's not going to tell them. He's not going to release his expo, that there are other competitors with him. That's what he said. He has other competitors, and he's the first person speaking. If he now speak, they will copy what he has said. So he's not telling them the whole answer here. That's what he said in that video. And people were laughing. Why is Peter Obi's case always different? Peter Obi has competitors. There is Atiku Abubakar. There is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. There is Adebayo of SDP. There is what is it called? Mola Yesowore of ZAAC or what have you, and the rest of them contesting for this position. There is even Zenith Labour Party. So there are many of them. None of them has been on the TV station talking what they will do and how they will do it. Then the person who is even coming out, speaking to the people, tweeting to the people and all of that, the moment he speaks, they attack him. But nobody is going to drag other people who are not even coming to the media to speak to Nigerians. I don't know. So Tinubu said he cannot release his expo. He can't tell them how he's going to do it. Otherwise, other people going to copy him. All his competitors going to copy. Let's listen to him.
I don't want to sit here and reveal all my strategy. I'm the first speaker. I don't want to sit here and reveal all my strategy. I'm the first speaker among the three of us running. So they will spy on me. So you will have a limited answer here today. Another day you can bring me back.
So you heard what Tinubu said. Did anybody attack him? Did anybody cut his head? That why didn't he say how? Even in Chatham House, they asked him question. What did he do? He called El-Rufai, called other people and said, let them answer on his behalf. Where is El-Rufai today? The same man who is cleaning his image in Chatham House. He has held him in detention. Because he doesn't want El-Rufai to participate in this campaign season. That's why they will continue keeping him there. They will be shifting the date of his bail application. You will see. Because he knows the capacity of El-Rufai. So that's why they want to take him out. And El-Rufai was the one who gave them the platform to do what they are doing to him. For that thing he said on TV about phone tapping and all of that. So, anyways, it is what it is. But the fact is, it's still the responsibility of Nigerians to choose who governs them. Even if they will rig the election. But at least, vote your conscience. Right? Then leave the rest. Okay? So this time around, it's not just voting and go. No, you vote, you defend your vote. Because if you listen to one of the video Adebayo, SDP candidate was talking about what Tinubu tell them. How do they think he will amend the electoral law to favor them when he's contesting? Remember that video? And I told you guys, during that electoral law, they did that law to favor them. Himself, President, Akpabio, and all those Senate leaders you are seeing backing Akpabio. All those laws, they were intentionally, crafted to favor them. But other members are not aware that the reason is not for all of them, it's for some of them who are the topmost top. Now, most of them have lost their grounds to return as members. They couldn't whip cameras. But when they were approving all those laws, they didn't know. Citizens protested. Still, they ignored them. So all these things, that's why I told them, you don't make a law because of somebody, because that law will come back to haunt you that made it. That's exactly what's happening to National Assembly members. Most of them did not succeed in the primary, so they are out. And they are the people who supported all this things that was happening today. So if president is telling you all those things, remember one of the video he did where he said, when he was not president, he surmounted all the obstacles and won. Is he now that he's in charge? I said it's finished. That statement, I said it that time, that statement says a lot, that the man has already done all the things behind the scene, how he's going to take this ticket, whether by grab it, snatch it, and run with it. He has to do the same thing. It's only Nigeria that can stop him. How? By choosing who to vote for and vote for that person massively. President Trump called it too big to rig. When the result is too big to rig, INEC chairman will be helpless than to announce the actual result. So if you people vote massively for the right candidate that will lead the nation, it will become too difficult for INEC to rig it in their favor, like they glitched the system before. So the man is willing and ready to do what it takes to retain this seat. That is what it is. If you listen to his body languages and everything, that's his mission. But it's only Nigeria that can stop him. Register, get your PVC, on that day vote, defend your vote. Make sure that the INEC official upload the result in real time to server. The moment people have signed those from EC8A, make sure that they upload it there. Don't allow them to tell you, when we get to the office. No, upload it there. Because the moment they upload it, they have a platform that will transmit it to TV station. It will be airing live. By then, it's difficult for them to mutilate. That is the way it's going to work. So if you guys don't do that, you will face another 8 years, another 4 years of torture and pain. Because that's when even the tax law will begin to manifest fully and all of that. So it is what it is. I don't tell people who to vote for. It's your responsibility to choose who you want to vote for. That's it. So it is what it is. All right. So then the last part of it here is when they talk about insecurity. So he said that only one person will be in charge. There's no way as a president, the enemies of the state will be dictating what happened in the country. It cannot happen. It cannot happen. Then I ask him, are you ready to die for this country? He said, yes. Because that's why he doesn't have passport of any other country. He lived in UK for years, decades. He's not a UK citizen. He only live there with a resident permit. He goes in and come back, goes in and come back. That's what he does. He has businesses in the UK, but he doesn't have their citizenship. He says it's only Nigeria has a citizenship. And he only have a house in Onitsha, and Brazil. He keeps emphasizing on that. So the point is that when it comes to insecurity, I concur with him. You can't be the president of a country, commander-in-chief, and you are negotiating with bandits. No, you can't be negotiating with bandits. That's why they have the boldness to go to schools, kidnap school children, kidnap teachers, behead some on video and post it. Because they know that nothing government can do. Comb the forest, you know where they are. In every war, there are collateral damage. That is the truth of the matter. You see Iran and US now. You see how many soldiers that were about 12 or thereabout that was killed in that few months of stuff they have with Iran. Collateral damage. There's no way we escape it. It's difficult to go to a war and you don't lose one person. It's difficult, very difficult. So, if they are serious, they comb out the forest, bomb everywhere, chase these people out of Nigeria. That's what it is. But they're not serious. They are only busy negotiating. The Peter Obi also said they will negotiate with bandits. I saw that the freeze cut some part of it and posted. You see, when he talks about negotiating with bandits, it's done everywhere in the world. Even US now negotiated with Iran. That's why they signed their peace deal, right? Negotiation in that context is not the kind that the Nigerian government is doing today, where they speak with the bandits. Bandits will tell them, if you attack us, we will do this. They will say, okay, stay in your forest, don't cause mayhem, we won't touch you people. Or they kidnap school children, they go at the back and pay ransom, they release the school children, they do video, do photo up and say, no, they did not pay ransom. Or some aides will come on TV and say, no, they call the bandits, and the bandits release the people. No, that's not the kind of negotiation Peter Obi is talking about. The kind of negotiation he's talking about is just what Yaradua did with the South militants that were bombing oil pipelines, kidnapping oil workers at that time. He called them and said, hey, this thing you guys are doing need to stop. If you are willing to lay down your arms, government will rehabilitate you and take care of you and make sure that you become somebody in life. And they agreed. They laid down their arms. Government took them in amnesty, sent most of them abroad to study engineering, aeronautic engineering and all kinds of courses and all that. They sent them abroad, paid them salaries, and they calmed down. Oil production boosted. Things started working. Peace returned to the Niger Delta at that time. That's the kind of negotiation Peter Obi is talking about. If you want peace to reign, we negotiate. You do your part, we do our part, and everybody is okay. But if we call you for negotiation, you refuse to heed what government has offered to you, then it means war has been drawn. And at that point, it will destroy all of them. And that's what it is. So give them opportunity to negotiate for peace, to lay down their arms, and you support them in one way or the other. Those who want to do business get grants. Those who want to go to school can go to school on scholarship, and government will support them, and peace will return. And that will be okay. But if they don't want to follow what government is offering, then government will draw the line and know that these are the enemies of the state, and they will deal with them accordingly. That is exactly what Peter Obi is saying. So when people are saying negotiate with ban, it's not what President Bola Tinubu's government is doing or President Buhari's government did. They pay Jengebe's people money. If you go and watch BBC African Eye on that Jengebe kidnap, about 300 and something school girls were kidnapped. The bandits themselves say they paid them 60 million. It's there. BBC African Eye, go on YouTube, check it. It's there. He said they paid them 60 million and they used the money to procure more arms. He was even telling the interviewer, if that is not dark here, they would have taken him to see the armory they procured with the money. So, how can the bandit go to a school, kidnap over 200 or 300 people, march them to the forest, and you just call that bandit, return the people, and they say, okay, sir, they return? No, they went there on a mission. They have a reason for going there. They need money. They know when they kidnap school children, government will respond by providing what they are threatening them for. And then they will be able to do what they want to do. They know, because school children will do a lot of criticism, a lot of sympathy, and problem for government. They know, and they have people on top of them. If you listen to Baba Dati Ahmed, Hakim Baba Dati Ahmed in his interview, he will tell you there are hierarchies in that kidnap. Those small boys you are seeing are just the foot soldier. There are people above them. When they receive ransom, they come collect that ransom, give them their share, and they go. and any equipment they need, drugs and all of that, they procure. So this thing is a business, big business. So you need government that have courage to tackle it. It doesn't care. You don't need to care whether it's your village people that are part of it or your brother or your sister. No, you deal with it headlong. And that's what Peter Obi is saying. Clean corruption in the security sector. Clean the corruption. All the money going to the security sector, is it trickling down to do what it's supposed to do? People will say, when Buhari was contesting for up to 4 times, he was failing. People were like, if Buhari has won, we know Buhari, Nigeria would have been better. He's a general. He was a disciplined general when he was losing. Now, he won in 2015. He entered. What changed? Nothing. He did nothing at the end of the day. So, that is why I was like, can they just do what they can do? Give Peter Obi this presidency for these 4 years. Let's see all these things he has said. Let's see how much he can do. So that we won't be regretting after 2031 that, oh, if it was Peter Obi now, Nigeria would have been better. No, let's give him that chance. 4 years is not too much. Let him try. Let's see what happens. So that in 2031, we will say we gave Peter Obi a chance. All the thing he was talking church on TV, he did nothing. So let's give him that benefit of that and see what they can do. Nigerians, is up to you. January is fast approaching. In the next 6 months, we'll be in January. And that's when the election will take place. You don't need plenty years to change things. The moment you enter and start doing the right things will start turning around. We have been on the wrong trajectory. So we need to tackle it. So that's what it is. So guys, I'm going to leave it here. But I don't know what you think concerning this whole thing. These are my 2 cents based on what I can understand in that conversation he had with, Rufai on that podcast. So there's quite a whole other aspect of, the podcast. Maybe I'm going to take those other aspects later. But I'm going to leave it here. But I don't know what your take is on this whole, conversation. But whatever you think about this whole conversation so far, please kindly put it at the comment section. My comment section is open for you there. I personally will respond, to your comment at all times. Be rest assured of that. And then if you are new to this channel, please kindly like and share this video and also subscribe to my channel. Put on the notification bell so that when my next new video drop, you'll be among those that will be notified. So I'm going to see you in my next video. And thank you for watching. I'm signing out. See you.